Okay, President Obama has a very important job, which we should remind ourselves is actually occupied right now by somebody. You know, there's some bizarre fusion of, on one hand, I do genuinely like President Obama personally, even though obviously well to the left, as I always say. And then there's also just this whole process really degrading our collective standards. So right now we have a president who I would be willing to Bloomberg Obama right now, give him a third term. I would be totally okay with that. And part of the reason that I like Obama is that he had this to say. And I wish, by the way, that I could say what Obama said myself about last week with regards to the Republican National Convention. He's being asked here at a press briefing, did you watch all of the insanity from last week? And here's what President Obama had to say.
The Republicans had an opportunity this week to share their vision with the country and emphasize those issues that they thought were important. And I'm going to let the American people judge how persuasive their arguments were. Next week, the Democrats will have an opportunity to present their vision of both the progress we've made and how we make sure that everybody gets opportunity and security in the future. I noticed a little bit of editorializing there, Kevin, when you said, how do I counter a message that was clearly appealing to working class Americans. I don't know if you've talked to all of them. So it's not really clear how appealing it was. We'll find out. That's what elections are for. I did not watch the convention. I don't think that's a surprise. I got a lot of stuff to do. And they are pretty long events.
Yep.
But I did read some of what was said. And the one thing that I think is important to recognize is this idea that America is somehow on the verge of collapse, this vision of violence and chaos everywhere, doesn't really jibe with the experience of most people.
Okay, so first of all, I wish that I could say like President Obama. I had better things to do than watch it last week. Unfortunately, I literally had to watch it. That was part of our sort of fiduciary responsibility to watch that garbage. We've pointed out all of the facts, obviously. Crime is down. Police killings are down. Everything in this sort of apocalyptic fear menu at the Republican National Convention is down, except for the feeling, the gut instinct that something is terribly wrong and that is anchored deep in racial and social paranoia. And that's what that convention was about. So the question really is, actually, it's interesting when he said it doesn't jibe with most people's experiences, because I think that's actually the bigger question. The stats and the empirical realities matter a lot less than how are people actually feeling about it and what their experience is. And I actually think he's right. I don't think that level of fear is reflected in the rest overall in this country. That specific type of fear. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of very legitimate fear about inequality, about declining standards and everything else, which of course Bernie spoke to better than anybody and has the best solutions for. But that sort of like 1968 / the Purge thing, I don't think that reflects many people's experience.
Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.